The pursuit of happiness is an essentially powerful idea. What Jefferson said is that each one of us has the moral right to pursue our personal happiness, including business people. They have the right to pursue their happiness. And that idea, that pursuit of happiness idea, created the most successful and the most benevolent society in history. All progress is based on somebody doing something different that's better. So a free thinking mind is essential for man's progress.
Imagine a world for a moment that didn't have global aviation or global telecommunication or UPS or the internet. Generally, when you think about business, they're very good at finding those kinds of opportunities.
Business is inherently moral because it privileges creativity and innovation. Business is largely responsible for the most significant improvements in people's standards of living of anything that we've ever seen.
The assumption is if wealth is accumulated or amassed, it's because somebody made poor choices or immoral choices. That's a misnomer. I mean, the natural order has actually been, historically, has been poverty, and some have escaped that poverty and then they can lift others out.
So I hate the term giving back because it assumes there that the world is a zero-sum game, that business is a zero-sum game, that the wealth of the businessman, the profits of the business came at somebody else's expense. Somebody else is poorer because the businessman is richer. And that's the opposite of the truth. The only way to create wealth is by offering products and services that are better than existed before and at a price that people are willing to pay, that their life is now better because they paid it.
Wealth creation is a team sport. And if I create wealth because I've come to you with a solution at the most fundamental level and I convince you to spend $1 with me, and I do that because I'm giving you back $1.50 or $2 in value, this creates an environment where there's no ceiling, there's no cap on the wealth that we can create. And it turns out that if one of us is creating wealth for ourselves, in every one of those exchanges, we're actually also creating wealth for others.
One of the things that makes trade win-win is when the whole part of the population is integrated. In many developing countries, about 50% of the workforce and a good 30% of the economy is locked out of the system. When we can open up the system so that everybody can participate, it is a win-win situation.
Anteriormente yo trabajaba en lo que era cosa de construcciones, pero de ahí quería buscar un medio donde estar más con mi familia y que hubieran unos mejores ingresos. Entonces, así es que se da esto de la panadería. Yo comencé vendiendo pan. Salíamos en una camionetita que teníamos viejita. En ella distribuíamos en todo lo que era el barrio, pulperías, gente aledaña. Pero después optamos por llegar a tener un negocio propio. Además de que esto se hizo una forma de traer ingresos y mejorar la vida de mía, al igual que de la de mi familia. Y ellas pues van a ser las próximas herederas, las que van a continuar con esto.
In the business school, do we talk about the nobility and morality of work? Not enough. Not enough. It strikes me at the core of what we do and what we need to do is to teach our students no shortcuts, no government gifts, no easy way, but work, dedication, focus.
Some business students are challenged with the notion of the morality of business. Profit maximization is an outcome, it's not a goal.
To create wealth, to create value, I have to do it for someone else. I don't get ahead, I don't create private wealth unless I'm creating wealth for somebody else as well. In some way they find what I'm creating, what I'm doing useful.
It is the moral endeavor of scientists, thinkers, artists to create. And it is a moral endeavor for businesses to go ahead and diffuse that knowledge so that they can really bring it to real life.
It's only with capitalism and with freedom do you get choices, innovations, creation, consumer choices. And then people can then pursue, the values that they choose. And this is true equally for material values as it is for spiritual values. So the right to pursue happiness really means that you should be free to pursue those values that are both necessary and that you acquire in order to achieve your life, in order to achieve a flourishing life, and ultimately in order to achieve happiness.
I mean, a lot of students who want to pursue careers in business, want to start their own businesses, they have a vision, they have some idea about the way they want the world to be. They say, I have a passion for something, some values that I want to bring into practice, and the best way I can do that is through free trade and commerce and entrepreneurship.
It's interesting, a lot of people think people are in business for money. That is very unusual. I've dealt with thousands of entrepreneurs in my career in the banking business, and almost none of them were solely or even primarily motivated by money. Most of them wanted to create something, they wanted to produce something. So business people, the best, the ones that really make the biggest difference, are driven by a desire to earn, to produce, to create.
The pursuit of the profit per se is not the goal. The goal is making the world a better place through being able to do things in innovative, creative ways that solve important problems.
We have a culture of innovation here. I think innovation comes to our team members because generally they're constructively dissatisfied. Our team and the Inmar culture is one that's very driven to identify those opportunities. And so I think they find real meaning in the work that they do. You think about it, what other enterprise that is a social enterprise, that is completely self-sustaining, that provides those kind of challenges and meaning in the work every day, the opportunity to continue to learn and to be in an environment where you can be fulfilled and enjoying it, and is not dependent on any other entity to do that. How many enterprises can say that they create that kind of social environment? So in general, I think it's those types of things that give people a lot of meaning in their work and therefore happiness in what they're doing.
So having integrity, living up to your commitments, independent thinking, these are crucial in business. And of course, maybe the most important virtue is being productive, working hard, using your mind in order to create win-win outcomes. So there's a whole set of virtues that any business person needs to embrace in order to be successful. These values and virtues are also central and enduring to conducting business honorably. They not only lead to the flourishing of the enterprise, but also to the flourishing of the individual by achieving dignity and prosperity.
It's not about getting the last dollar. It's about creating value for their customers, for their employees, and for the other people that they require. Because we all gain as we are able to engage in free exchange.
It is spiritual to the extent that we take pride in creation. We take pride in being productive. So often, money as a result of our productive spirit is a just recognition of the fact that we have done something moral, we have done something good.
So why do students study business? Of course, we want our business graduates to be well-educated and effective in solving complex business problems. But we also want something more, I think. There's a vital connection between personal virtues and conducting business honorably on the one hand, and a free market economy that creates and maintains a vibrant, just, and humane society on the other. This is an important agenda for business schools as we prepare our students to become future leaders in business and society.